Welcome back to Soul Days. All right, more red. Look at this. And what are you talking about? You got people calling you stupid for not selling earlier. I think overall, market trends right now they're lagging indicators. So when you start to see a down curve, that's suggesting that there's moves coming. All right, so let's take a look. We've been drawing this the past few days on the show. This is Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin, I like to take into consideration time frames a little bit more, past time frames. Although I try to, you want to do that for everything. But so here we are. We're following our pattern here. This is how I got my levels. I made a tweet on my Twitter, June 15th, that we bounced between 18K and 25. We were at that time ranging between 31 and 28 or 27,000. We then hit 17-ish, and we saw a bounce back pushing near 25, or about 25. On the shorter time frame, you'll see this resistance here a little bit closer to 25. But it's possible. So is this the fourth wave here? We were looking for confirmation. Some people were looking for confirmation for to continue a little bit. And in some cases, that might have been maybe actually potentially bringing us down even more. And I'll make the case for that in a little bit looking at Solana. But right now, midterm, we could begin to bounce between these levels here, if that's what's in the cards for us, and maybe even potentially we're looking at a worst case scenario here, 11 to 17. So let's check the outflows. We're on CryptoQuant here. So CryptoQuant is announcing that there could be some movement on some Mt. Gox wallets that could begin to start moving around, which might freak some people out. I don't know how people are going to react. Confidence was already pretty shaken in the markets. It's not going to take very much to move the price. Smarter money, strong heads are still on the sidelines. The opportunity is beginning to present itself. And I do think that the least likely scenario is likely what's going to happen here. And so here we have the outflow charts on exchanges, Bitcoin. So overall, volume on exchanges creeping up, rounding off a little. I think we're holding steady. We're pretty strong. I don't see too many massive moves here. We're down at 20. No real sign saying jump in right now, but there's also nothing really indicating clearly that you should be getting out. It's outflow. Let's check net flow. Yeah. So overall, the same thing. See, pretty major move here on the 20th of July. That was the beginning of the inflation woes. Fed started talking really strongly on addressing inflation. We also had some other news just prior to that with the infrastructure bill and many other macro things leading up to that. But I think inflow is pretty important here. So we had a really, really strong move here for the downside. So inflow really, really sunk here. Now we're ticking back up, and this is kind of what I mean by most confidence has been shaken. So, if there's some major hands left that want to want to get out, we're going to see something like this. Price history on trends. I don't see, we're not really seeing too much news. Ethereum, we saw network fees really taking a hard turn for Ethereum. And now we're finding the price here at 1,500 from 18. And we started talking about it at 17. I do think that there's more in the cards for Ethereum here. But this is all leading up to the merge. And you might see as the merge just hype. XRP didn't really respond right away. But now we're seeing XRP getting close to some potential moves here. We don't know if it's going to be up or down. We just looked at Bitcoin chart. You know, maybe we're on the fourth wave, Elliott wave here. It looks like we have some indication that we've confirmed 4 here. And now we're just looking for where 5 is going to go. And that's actually a good thing. If you believe that was the confirmation there, now you can start to get ready, because some people are speculating that you don't want to get into early, or you want to be patient and wait for 4 to conclude. If that was Elliott 4 finishing off there and now starting to confirm that it's moving down, now this could be interesting, because this is what we've been talking about. The market could be setting up for some major moves. If you listen to people like Raoul Pal, who's been mentioning that since last year, we've been passing through a recession. Yesterday's show, it looked like market was indicating after the Jackson Hole speech from Jerome Powell, it was nothing out of the ordinary. It was actually to be expected, potential rate hikes. It wasn't like a pleasure to hear. Most of the price is beginning to look priced in. And now a return to the market is definitely beginning to look like it's in the cards. So I wanted to highlight Solana here and talk about some news and some major moves that kind of occurred last year. So here we have Solana, August 23rd. And we see a pretty nice first leg move up here. And then we saw a top near 260. Here's an article from last year, August 24th, about major VCs getting into asset flows, maybe Solana. So following this news, right, we saw Solana really pick up here. But in July, mid-July, the price more than doubled. Price about tripled here. From mid-July to August 22nd, price had doubled, or more than tripled. So this is coming off of some more or less long-term downtrend here. We have 26 being the lower on the several months, and the first wave kind of starting at 47 here. So overall, it's a downtrend running into the mid-July move, and then that move begins to increase here into mid-August. And then we have a continued ascent to absolute glory here. So from about 20-ish, a complete 100x here, or complete 10x here. Awesome move. Was this announcement directly related to some of that pump for the rest of the rise here? We see it shoot up. Was that a direct result of actual VCs getting money in to the market and retail beginning to buy in off of this news? So we're seeing flows here ranging, and then flows begin to rise. On Serum, so I'm looking at Serum now. So flash forward to today, 2022. Here on Serum, we're seeing more or less a major downtrend here from September 21 running into August right now. Back here, we saw that major downtrend here, September, running up into the later part of the year. January, we begin to see a return on inflow, our net flow, so in and out. This is interesting because now you're seeing a lot of movement, right, on Serum Exchange, which is on Solana. Same thing here. So let's look at inflow. So we have trending down throughout most of the 2020. We go sideways for a little bit. 2021 has a nice return. So inflow begins to pick up on Serum Exchange. Hits a nice high, near high here in May, mid-2021, coming back down for another long-term downtrend here or midterm downtrend here from May to July. And then we have that nice run up, and then you can see here something happens again mid-August, right around that time of the announcement. And then we see more movement upwards from there. And then we begin to see inflow pull off over the long course to today. Overall, way down. Right? So outflow, today, August 27th, FX Street. So price targets are looking kind of similar to what we've been looking at the past couple of days, past handful of days now on this show. Looks like FX Street analysts were also looking for Elliot Wave 4 confirmation. In other words, fractals. So they're suggesting here that fractals are looking bearish, but there's potential upward movement here rather. So we talked about resistances. If things continue on the path, we're looking at maybe mid-20s in the beginning weeks of September, mid-20 price for Solana. It looks like Wave 4 was being looked for in the past couple weeks, and now it could be potentially that we have Wave 4 confirmation. We had Wave 4 confirmation possibly on Bitcoin. Market tends to follow Bitcoin pretty closely. Solana might be no different here. So we have mapped it out here on what I believe to be the Elliott structure here. The framework is telling us that Wave 4 and FX Street was looking at this possibly, that we could potentially be looking for this sort of Wave 4 to continue, or was Wave 4 going to take us, was Wave 4 about concluded and ready to take us down to 5 to confirm that we're looking at 5 here, searching for 5. I'd be thinking that if Wave 4 were to continue up, we'd be exhausting some bullishness, and that would take us actually lower. FX Street, on that same article, I mentioned it because FX Street is also calling for potential, and you might see it outside of this show, some talk that Solana is getting ready for $10 or maybe even less. I had mapped out according to some matrixy moves, some matrix moves, that we'd arguably started at a 52% decline. Then we hit another 54%, down from 200s down to 49. I mean, mid hundreds, and then from about 109 to about 49. And if we continue down on that, we'd see another 60% 60% decrease from where we are at now. Or sorry, 60% or more decrease about from $22, which is the mid low that I was mapping out. Potential mid low if prices do hit mid 20s in early September. 22 would be the low, and 60% off of that would take us down to $8. So I don't think that's going to happen. I thought maybe that might be more likely, though, if 4 were to stretch out. If wave 4 were to stretch out a little bit more, that could be a likely scenario. But now we see here wave 4 could be confirmed. So we're looking for our next target for wave 5 confirmation to be ended. And that actually presents an interesting flow on the chart here, because if you're looking here, this is a speed resistance. I think overall, midterm, we've been following this model here pretty nicely, pretty closely. Here's the top, and we see now we're seeing some price wanting to cool off here, and I think that falls right in place with the macro narrative, with everything happening now. We definitely are going to see some price cool off, and this is the right moment here for on the speed, our trajectory path for price to start cooling off, and that would take us down likely to the mid 20s here, potentially a little lower. Yeah, this is not me trying to be negative or bring down the market or being bearish at all. You know, I've been in my last few videos, again, I've been screaming bullish, right? It's just that we want to see confirmation. We're getting confirmation now. It looks like we're going to be cooling off. The models are telling us that's what's in play. We're on that path to go from low 30s to that 20s. We've been calling it out the past week or so here, and that's turning out to be where we're headed. Overall, though, I think news on Solana is important to follow right now. As I mentioned this time last year, it could be, did VCs or whoever else have some pre-hand knowledge? It looks like from July, there's a clear move up here, right? Clear move up in July. A month before that announcement was made, most articles. And then we had the upper hand taken over by possibly retail and more institutional buying. But we do see articles calling for the necessary need to start to look at the market early. This is the only point where I begin to veer off from FX Street on this one. But overall, I think this is a great article. I think I like what they mapped out here too. It was following closely. I went ahead and mapped out it for myself to do my own research, which I always suggest you do. And it looks like we were able to pull up something very similar to what FX Street is showing. But I am making the argument that you do want to begin to look at prices early, because all of these charting, TA, these are lagging indicators. The price is already recorded, right? So if we're mapping out behavior, that's good to know. And we are hearing confirmation on the macro from Powell, Gensler, infrastructure bill, and now Elizabeth Warren looking to make commissions off of energy usage. Economists saying, no, we're not in a recession, but some financial major players in the financial markets have been suggesting we've been in one. And we're also seeing the market react and behave in a way that suggests that we're in really strong downtrend moments, recession-like moments, and we're seeing bonds and oil and things like that stay strong. So these are the moments when you want to start looking at real items. Very, very interesting time in the market. Okay, so I think this is really interesting. Meme coins begin to start to surface when there's good confidence, when there's strength in the market. But as I mentioned earlier, looking at Solana price, things like that on small caps, you do want to start to look at the market early. You do want to start finding opportunities. Terra Classic is interesting because it's not exactly a meme coin. Terra Classic is the revival chain of the failed Terra. The rest of Terra went on to move on with Terra 2.0. But Terra Classic could be a little bit of that cultish following, and learning more about it, it's very interesting. It gives me that really strong Star Wars vibe with the likes of Vegas, possibly the new unofficial leader of Terra Classic, and the Strong 12. Just yesterday, Terra Classic staking went live. The first blocks were minted. Now we're seeing endorsements from KuCoin, from Crypto.com, and Binance. So here's the staking stats. Validator count on Terra Classic is already up from 75, about 70s to near 100. I think we're at a stable 100, even 100 right now. We see that nodes are operating. So if you want to check this on terra.stake.id, it's going to just give you the node count, validator count, but we want to see that it's operating, right, before we get in, do a little bit of DYOR, do your own research. So here's the Luncy DAO Twitter page. Burn won't be initiated. 1.2% tax won't be initiated for another couple weeks, depending on how the epics map out. So 3568 was introduced and created by Vegas. The Strong 12 are 12 individuals backing that code and becoming maybe the core developer, possibly the core developer team of 3568. So staking return, 16% on the day. And that's about roughly, I believe what the return was is about 5,000 on the month. So staking went live yesterday. These are the validators probably testing the mainnet. And the delegation process started here. So now with staking, more stakers, the staking amount percentage will come down because it'll start to clear out the pool. But still overall really high, really good return on the month. So this is turning out to be really interesting. With crypto beginning to somewhat continue to grow into maturity, we're seeing meme coins come and go, but strong ones stick around. And in my opinion, I believe Shiba to be a really strong meme coin, and I don't think that they are fully considered a meme coin anymore, in my own opinion. I think Shiba ecosystem has a lot to offer probably even much more in some ways than a lot of layer ones that have been around for a while. The Shiba ecosystem is extremely extremely active, and it has a lot of return potential in its NFTs, its staking systems. A lot of it is gamified, so it makes it interesting. I think Terra Classic could be along the lines of those, the likes of Shiba. So, yeah. And I wanted to play this really quick clip for you guys to introduce who Vegas is.
Hi, thank you for having me here. I'm Vegas. Yeah, I think people might know me from the proposal 3568 that was the burn tax. Since then, we got a long way. We started thinking different things that we can help the Luna Classic. In terms of me being part of Terra Rebels, yes, I'm part of TR. I help with what I can. I try to get connections. I try to help in every possible way. I'm not a dev myself. I know how to read a little of this and that, but that's it. That part I leave for the brains, and normally is Ed. I love him. And is doing a big job as well on implementing the code. So yeah, for now, what I'm doing at this moment is contacting the validators, contacting TFL, and maintaining the community updated as well, and everything that we are doing at the moment. Of course, yeah.
Will the community pool exclusively be for monthly burns, or is there going to be proposals for that to be invested also in chain development in the future? Do you know very much how that's going to be working? That was one of the questions I was asked a couple of times.
Basically, that member that asked you that is replying to his own question, because yes, the fundamental is to burn, yeah, but right. At the same time, it can be done a proposal to imagine that the new app that we want to maintain on the chain. Right. With that, we can propose for that app to get some piece of the cake as well. Right. Person that is dealing with that is already raised a proposal. So the first one, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be divided for a couple of the apps. It's not a lot that the community pool perhaps everyone knows, but I think it's a good way to maintain the apps and because they can see that they can win something as well by being on the chain, not just giving. They can get something back as well from more than support of the community. That is a lot. The community is absolutely amazing. He supports every single the app that we can see that is still on Luna Classic, but it will be nice as well for us to support them monetarily, even if it's just a small little thing. It gives the dudes the opportunity to grow a little, and if they grow, we grow. If we grow, they grow. So that's perfect. Yeah.
A lot of people are just wondering how staking is going to work. It's going to be re-enabled soon. We don't know exactly when, but can you just explain like how that's all going to kind of work when it's being pushed through?
So the roadmap is simple. At the same time, it can change. So we are giving like you saw on the last proposal, we give 10 days for TFL to try to merge the code themselves. So basically, if they can just pick up the code that Terra Rebel created and merge themselves, so the validators, they don't need to do anything at all.
That's awesome.
And after that, on the 26th, more or less on the 26th of August, the block height will be activated and the stake will be activated. So anyone that has Luna Classic, on the Terra station, they can go just select the validators that they were the ones that you believe that you were doing the best for us as well. And I think people will see more or less the ones that voted positively, the ones that support a little, the ones that said yes, I'm going to support the community. In my opinion, that one should be the ones that gain a little more delegation, not taking any delegation from the other ones. But at the same time, I think we should show that we support who support us back as well.
When is the Terra Luna Classic burn going to happen?
Okay, So again, today was, and this came from a TFL member. And if you guys understand how to read a little code, and you go to check the PR that Ed did on GitHub, you see that you have a comment there from TFL. And the dude, to be fair, he commented there something very nice, that he can even speed up the burning as we know it. So again, they don't seem against us, you know. They just saw, oh, if you do this, you might speed up things there. So okay. If we do things slowly like we are talking, yeah. So the staking enters in action at 26th of August, but the burning stays locked until 12th of September, around 12th of September. And the reason for that is that we have to do a couple of tweaks in the Terra Station wallet, and a couple of repos that need to be changed so it doesn't break anything. So the leader of the team dev decided to lock the burn until 12th of September. After that, after 12th of September, the burn can be activated. This means that we can then propose a parameter change that is already ready. The whole 3 lines of code is 9, but yeah. They are ready for us to do a PR on the governance, and then ask the community again to vote and pass the thing. But we are prepared to delay it again in case of something goes wrong. So, but for now, everything seems on track. So we see that 12th of September, one day phones our back, we can see that almost sure that we'll have some kind of burn happening on chain. And like you saw, and everyone saw, Binance and other exchanges, they were saying that implemented first on chain and then we talk. I think we have 2 things to take from here: or they are just trolling us, or they are going to really implement it as well as we implemented on chain. So the idea is 12th of September, if we have everything ready behind the scenes that we need. So the code is all ready on the Terra Classic. That's not a problem. The problem is that then we have other third-party things that we have to tweak here and there to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And that is taking a little more time that we anticipated. But until 12th of September, I reckon that we'll have that ready and running. So yeah, just point more or less to that date.
All right, so there you have it. September 12th, Terra Classic Burn goes live. Staking went live yesterday. You can get about 6,000%, depending on how fast delegators processes are working, across 30 days, or about 16% right now on the day. Going to be really interesting to see how this next return to market turns out. We're seeing a lot of meme coins turn into legit chains. Not calling Terra Classic a meme coin, but it definitely is a community first project that could be much more. So a lot of opportunity returning to the market. And that's, in my point of view, what you tend to see when markets start to round out. You're going to see opportunity popping up, especially in these opportunistic times when prices are looking really rough. All right, so let's turn back to what we like to do at the end of our shows. Let's look at some Solana NFTs. We talked about Udder Chaos yesterday. I gave you guys a quick update on Udder Chaos. Checking in on the floor here, but not a whole lot of new news for Udder Chaos. But we are seeing some pretty active movement on the floor lately. They announced a few days ago who the artist was. Has a nice body of work. SoDead's looking really nice here. The purification, in other words, the mutation of the art is occurring anytime today. And we're seeing some good action on the floor here because of it, which is really good. Pretty cool demon on the floor here. And Zakiro, I've been following this project for the past several days since launch. Started out ranging between 0.2, 0.1-ish, and high 0.2s. And we saw a pump today. Not sure what the news is, but I like this project. I was following this project because I like the art, and I thought the website and everything else was really well built out, well thought out. It has signs of a team that is putting some care and attention into the project, which is really good. They are, I think they're focusing mostly on a streetwear brand. So let's take a look at that. Streetwear brand first. We saw this homepage that I featured on one of the videos a few days ago on the B-roll. And I talked about it in the show real short. Nothing much has changed, although they are hinting at offering some community type utilities. One of those utilities being staking rewards. Well, I don't know if I'd call staking a utility, but there could be value in it if there is an LP, but LP pools are pretty rough. And we see how those turn out if you're experiencing NFTs, especially on Solana. They usually get milk dry and it affects the floor price. Although there are projects that have done tokenomics really successfully, and that could not be a bad thing for Zakiro if they do it right. So, their fashion brand, Zo. Overall, I'm actually a fan of NFT merchandise. I like to sport my NFT on my clothes. It's way more meaningful than buying a brand off the shelf that doesn't have really a strong attachment to me at all. So I like it, but I'm not sure how much it really drives value in the actual NFT project itself, unless you have something going on like what the primates do on an Amazon marketplace and things like that. So here we are in Crypto Slam, Solana NFT volume. We're up again, holding from yesterday, but overall fluctuating and on a downturn, mostly on the 24-hour mark. Sales coming in pretty decent though, $1 million. And but that's a lot to be said for NFTs. If we're talking about $1 million being pretty decent, NFTs being really no market and the market being really down right now, just goes to show you how much demand there is and how much real potential as far as service markets go available in NFTs, and also on the crypto side, how much NFTs prove a chain has a market and has the ability to provide a service. So Solana NFTs looking really strong overall in this market. Typically a 10x behind Ethereum. We're going to start to see this number. Start to see this number definitely increase towards the end of the year, I believe, when we have a market return. Maybe the earlier part of next year, we could see some really good action on Solana. There have been moments where Magic Eden has flipped OpenSea, in other words, taken over OpenSea on daily volume. And that'll be it. Thanks. Have fun. Trade safe. And enjoy. See ya.